In schools. There should be. I think in the schools aren't doing enough for it. I really do, because the schools are kind of, and I think you need to go back to the primary schools, like really, really, go really back, because they're getting younger and younger, and I think the most vulnerable ones are the primary schools and the first and second years, the wee ones. Because I notice, like, most of the kids that are like first and second years, that are, it's older ones that are pinpointing the wee first and second year ones. And I think as well, shops, I know there's plenty of shops, corner shops that are selling to the young ones, and there's certainly, I don't know, I know Youth Action do the street. I think they need to do more of that and go out on a Saturday, because you go on about the social work, but the social work's not there on a Friday night when they're all hanging about and they take that first bottle of Buckfast and they're only about 13, and then as soon as you see them with the bottle of Buckfast, that's where the dealers and that know who they can pinpoint for the. I think they need to start doing, like, advertising again, the schools and the corner shops, everywhere that they kind of hang about. I don't know the certain areas in West Lothian that the kids are hanging about, and it's a Friday night and a Saturday night, and there's nobody there to go and break them up or chase them, and there's nowhere for them to go. There used to be community centres and that, but there's nothing now for them. Absolutely nowhere to go. At least even back in, like, when I was younger, when they had community centres, you would maybe have the janitors or the people that were hanging out, like, and they could maybe clear adults that were there to maybe say no, but there's nothing like that now. They're just managing to get, and they're managing to be able to get into they're managing to hang about outside the shops, and they call it jump-ins. That's what I found. And so, like, say, other people that maybe have got addictions and that, the kids are clubbing money together and they're getting about 5 or 6 jump-ins, they call it. And the other ones with the older people with addiction are going in and buy the kids' drink. I don't know. And I think the only way you're going to get them is the school. They need to maybe send them, there needs to be more people out to actually go to the street corners where all the wains are all hanging about and just send, I don't know, this Youth Action or whatever street, and just try and break it up.
Probably schools. Mm-hmm. Schools would be a good one. They need to put a lot more input into schools to make kids aware,
Like a lot more educational.
Yeah, a lot more education. Yeah. Kids don't realise the severity of drugs. They don't really think when they're doing it with their friends or anything. So putting it like somewhere in health centres and that, unless the kids were going to health centres, they probably wouldn't access it. Maybe in community centres. Places that they're going to frequent.
So I never knew anything about drugs. But I suppose, again, going back to my point, I would seek out opportunities and things to learn things. So one of the things that I did do was the police would go into the secondary school, open to all parents, and they would bring in maybe a case with drugs in them, and it would actually show you different drugs. So, that was the first step for me, because I'd heard it on the news and things about that, but I'd never actually experienced it. So that was a good thing to go into schools, although I wouldn't say there was a lot of parents there. It's a different world now from when I was at the school. And even science knows so much more. For example, I had first childhood experiences. And so why is that not in the schools to teach the children? And maybe that would in turn help with their mental health if they could actually piece it all together, because it took me a while to actually realise about the stress response system and things inside you, the science. And I always remember somebody says to me, your body never ever forgets how it felt. and that's from being in the room or when you were 2 months old and your parents were arguing or whatever. It takes you a while to think about that because you don't actually have a memory of it. But your body never forgets the stress that it went through in certain situations, and that can come out in your behaviour in later life.